In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the opening for an afterthought heel. That's the kind of heel you can add to a sock after you're finished knitting the rest of the sock. A lot of people like it because it's easy to take out and replace if you damage the heel at a later time. This can be worked in a cuff down sock or in a toe up sock, so it's also very versatile. So what you do is you knit your sock. In this case, it's cuff down, so I've got my cuff in my leg. If it was toe up, I would have my toe in my foot. You knit it to the point where you're ready to make the opening for your heel, and your pattern should tell you how long to knit for that. Then what you're going to do is you will have to divide your stitches in two halves, and usually it's exactly two halves. It might be pretty close. The pattern again will tell you. So you'll take the stitches that are going to be the top of the foot and set them aside, and you'll have one half of the stitches that are going to be the heel, and I like to have those on one needle because it makes this part much easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of yarn that's a different color, and we're just going to knit across all of those heel stitches. Just knitting. We're not going to do anything special. Doesn't matter if your stitches are stockinette stitch, ribbing in a pattern, or anything. Even if you have two colors in your pattern, you just knit across with one color of scrap yarn to make the spot where the opening will be. And it's really got to be a bright color that stands out from the color of your sock. You can see here I've knit across all of the stitches with my scrap yarn, and I've got the ends of the yarn there, and it's just a short piece. If you're worried about it falling out, you can tie the ends together. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to knit across these stitches again in my working yarn. And because I had all of my heel stitches on one needle, my working yarn is still at the beginning of that needle. Whether it's a double point or circular doesn't matter. So I just go back to the beginning of that needle, and now I'm going to knit across again. And in this case, I like to knit the first row after that heel opening with the scrap yarn, plain knitting. If it's multiple colors, I'll keep going in pattern. But if it's a knit and purl pattern, as it is in this sock, I just knit across. It's much easier to take this out later if it's all knit stitches. It can be complicated if it's two colors, and you have to be very careful because the strands of the yarn are in the back and so forth. But all knitting does make it much easier than knit and purls. So there you have it. You can see how that will show up very clearly as the location of your heel.